They don't necessarily know each other, nor do they attend the same classes, but they are united by one thing, the feeling that learning is not the same at home. They see themselves as the ruling class of the future, and they think the government is not doing enough to protect schools.
The reason we're not inside our schools and instead sitting on the ground outside doing remote learning is because there aren't enough spaces. Classrooms are too small and there's no way to go back to school safely. This is a huge problem because avoiding investment in schools and not making it a priority means not having a long-term vision and not understanding what the future is about. Because we represent the future of this country.
These students are standing with the climate strike movement, and they share the idea that the youth have the power to change things.
Like the Fridays for Future movement, we want a better future. We're convinced it's through education and a new school model that we can achieve that.
It's moments like this one what they really miss the most, the chance to be able to speak to each other or simply to meet. And this has become more and more the students' own battle. As teachers have not joined the recent protest, they claim that they should have stood by their side, although they say that they don't understand what it feels like not being able to go to school. Others are concerned about the amount of work they have lost by not having in-person lessons.
I feel like we have so many gaps in our learning, myself included. I don't think this is fair, and it's a disadvantage not only for students, but for teachers too.
In a nearby school we visited, a group of students were also taking lessons outside for the same reasons.
We know we can't have in-person lessons, but we also know that the government hasn't invested enough in providing remote learning in the right ways. Education has to be at the core of the political agenda. There's the money from the recovery fund. They have to spend it on this.
Unlike other countries in Europe that have already ruled out the closure of schools, opting instead for tighter restrictions, in Italy it's not yet clear how the government's recovery plan intends to address the issue.
Well, we can go over to Rome to speak to Georgia now. Georgia, how much pressure is the government under to ease restrictions? Is there any sign of the curve being flattened out ahead of Christmas?
Well, yes, Stokes. In fact, yesterday the country reported around 36,000 new infections, and although the number of that jumped to 650, which is one of the highest since April, it seems that the overall number of cases has been stable in the past few days, since a week or so. That's why the government is thinking to ease restrictions over Christmas. That's seen as a way to allow Italians at least to go through the Christmas period in a better way. Some of the possibilities that are being considered by the government include late opening of shops, at least until 11 or 10 or 11 in the yellow, in the orange zones, but also the reopening of shopping centers over the weekend, and also the extension of opening hours for bars and restaurants here in Lazio, which is the yellow zone, at least until, after 6 p.m. and not later than 10 p.m. talks. But the government really, the aim right now is for the transmission rate to go below 1. That's the target that the government has in mind. And so the government will keep monitoring the situation until the next assessment that will take place around the 27th of November.